What's up, folks? Dave Swift here from ClientAmp.com. I'm back with another round of AppSumo lifetime deal reviews. I'm recording this on Monday morning. That's typically when AppSumo puts out their new deals. I think this video will probably be released sometime around Wednesday. So I have to mention that they're doing a last call promotion right now. Basically, that's when they bring back some of their older, more popular deals and make it available for one last time for their Plus members. So go ahead and check that out. It'll probably have, around a day left by the time this is posted. As you can see here on the screen, there's only 4 days left. But let's go ahead and check out some of the new deals. I'm going to be reviewing hopefully all of them this week or spilling over into early next week. And then you can always catch my roundup videos that are coming out now on Tuesdays for Taco Tuesday. All right, let's get into it. I'm going to head over to Software, AppSumo Select, and then I like to sort by the latest. You can see here we've got 5 new deals this week. There's also one that came back. Let's see, it's Akoya. There's 344 codes remaining for this. I did a video on Akoya, I think around Black Friday time, so I'll try to drop a link for that down below if you're interested in grabbing that. I think there'll probably be a few codes left. This has been on the site for right around a week now, and it seems to be selling, 30, 40 codes per day. So today, I want to take a look at this tool over here called Translate.Video. It says it will instantly translate and dub your videos into 75 plus languages with high quality audio sync. $49. Let's check it out. So one of the first things I always do when I hit a deal page is just click on the drop down here, and you can see that they have 9 different tiers. You can spend up to $1,000 on this tool. Let's see what we're gonna get for that much money. I'm hoping to not spend $1,000 today. It looks like I'm gonna have to spend at least $150 to try this out for you guys, because it looks like when you get to tier 3, we get voice cloning, and I can't possibly review this without checking that out. So what are the deal terms here? We get 30 videos, 30 subtitles, 30-minute max file upload, and 30 export minutes per month with 1 gig of storage. Down on tier 1, $49. And then if we bump that up to tier 2, everything basically doubles, except we get an extra gig of storage. Tier 3 is what I just mentioned. We get the extra features there, where we get 7 gigs of storage, 10 premium voice minutes per month. Don't really know what that means, but I do get voice cloning. Just out of curiosity, what happens if I keep going up? All right, so with the other plans, all of the limits are always doubling, but if I go to tier 4, everything doubles except for the max file upload length. So my hunch would be that that'll probably just be the max, about 3 hours. You can't ever upload a file longer than that, and that's correct. And eventually here, things kind of level off. We are no longer getting a doubling of limits, but our number of premium voices per month, premium voice minutes per month, and our voice cloning does tend to increase here. Top tier, so if you want to spend $1,000, you are going to get 3,000 video translation minutes, 3,000 subtitles, 180 minutes max file upload length, 3,000 export minutes per month, 40 gigabytes of storage, and 100 premium voice minutes per month with 25 voice cloning. All right, so I assume that's 25 different voices, different people you'd be able to clone. So it's gonna be very interesting to check this out. I'm very familiar with tools in this kind of atmosphere, I suppose you'd say. Translation is going to be something that's a little bit more expensive typically to get done than just straight transcription, because now you've got to move things over from one language into another. So if you're looking at that saying, 3,000 translation minutes, I could do something with Whisper AI for a lot cheaper. Yeah, but then you still need to use another service to translate it into another language. This tool does boast the fact that it can translate, dub, caption, and transcribe videos in over 75 languages with 1 click. So that's pretty killer. Let's go ahead and check this out. Not tier 9 for me. I'll go to tier 3. And we'll hit buy now. Give my $15 plus member discount here, 10% off everything I buy at AppSumo. And let's go ahead and activate this thing, huh? All right, I'll click the activate button. I get the normal little permissions screen. I'll click allow. And now I'm taken to Translate.Video where I can set up my account. There's an option here for a referral token. I don't have one of those. Hopefully there's no code or anything I'm supposed to enter in. And it looks like this is going to be a magic link type of sign-on, or they're at least verifying my email via email. All right, I got my code. Let's go ahead and log in. And the very first thing I see is this little guy telling me to upload my files. Then I can set up my translation settings and see my recent processes over in the recent area. So let's go ahead and check that out. Right here, we have a big drop zone to drag and drop multiple videos or click to upload. Now keep in mind, I've got 120 minutes left of translation. And right over here, it looks like I can do my instant voice cloning. It says 50 seconds of audio, create a voice that sounds just like you and speaks 75 languages. I remember seeing an interview with Mr. Beast. I think he was on Joe Rogan, and he was talking about how they have this entire infrastructure built out so that they can dub all of their videos into other languages all over the world. I've never actually watched any of those videos because I don't speak other languages, but I wonder if a tool like this kind of eliminates the need for those big productions, if it'll be high quality enough that it would be actually watchable by people who speak another language. That's definitely something that's a very interesting application for AI. I know Spotify and other services similar to that are already dubbing podcasts into other languages by first cloning the voice of the host. So this is a very, very interesting field. I'm not sure entirely how I actually feel about it as a consumer, whether I'd want to listen to a synthesized voice or not, but I suppose if it's good enough, I might not even notice. All right, so let's go ahead and try this thing out. I'm gonna go drop some files into the drop zone here. I'm actually gonna try to do multiple files, but one after another, just to kind of test and see how it goes. All right, dropping it in there. Looks like nothing's really happening. Yeah, the drop zone doesn't seem to be working for me, but if I click here, it does pick up a file selector. So I will do it this way. And like I said, I want to do this one at a time to see, well, you know what? It's not even letting me upload like that. So there's definitely something going on. I'm going to guess that this is going to be an incompatibility with the browser I'm using. I'm using Safari on a Mac. So let's go ahead and try it out inside of Arc, which is Chromium based. And because I'm switching browsers, I have to log in again. That does confirm that this is using a Magic Link login system instead of passwords. Not my personal favorite, to be honest. I prefer passwords, but here we go. We are now logged in. I suppose that's better for the SaaS providers, prevents people from sharing accounts quite so easily. All right, it's giving me the same kind of introduction. We'll skip past that. And let's try dragging and dropping a file in here. This time it works just fine. Let's try another one. Oh, it actually started playing the video, which means it didn't really register that as an upload. I'll try again here. All right, so everything is kind of great. Like, it's very sensitive. If I move over here, it's not grayed out. And if I move over here, where is it? There's a spot. There it is. Now, nope, it plays. This is a minor thing, but I'm just trying to stress test it in how I would actually use it in real life. Sometimes I have exports inside of different folders, and I can't easily grab them all at once to drag them in at one time. So it would be very nice if I could go to the different folders and then slowly add them over time. However, it's looking to me, I will try dragging it in when it's not inside of, when everything's kind of lit up. And yeah, it still doesn't play, or it does play. That's the problem. I don't want it to play. I want it to upload. So instead of that, I'm going to drag multiple files in at the same time. And there we go. We're good to go. And I'll click the upload button. All right, next up, I've got some options. I can do video translation and subtitles or subtitles only. So why don't I do both to see how they work? And I can give this a name. It's a little confusing. Translation settings. Maybe I'm setting up some settings for the translations. I'm not sure. I'll call it YouTube translation. I'm going to put it in my personal folder. I never set up any other folders. I'm sure that's over in the sidebar. We'll check that out later on. And we can choose our source location, which is going to be English. Big long list. Be nice if it could just auto detect that. All right, there it is, English. And let's translate this into, how about Spanish? Kind of the next most common language you find in the United States. All right, so I'll do Spanish, and then in parentheses it says Mexico. And I can do multi-speaker detection. I don't have multiple speakers, so I'll leave that off. It might be good to test with another piece of content. And then my voice selection here, I can choose Adriana or Alejandro. Well, I guess maybe I should go ahead and train my voice first so that when I do the translation, it can actually be in my own voice. It'd be nice to hear what these sound like. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Okay, so I'm actually going to cancel out of this. I'll save all of the same settings, and let's figure out training my voice first. I think that makes the most sense. So let's go over here where it says clone your voice. And let's see the instructions here. Voice information, enter your name. And all right, so let's just continue through this. We're going to give consent, create some audio, and then clone voice will be created. My name is Dave Swift. I'm a male. Voice consent, record my voice. Oh, it looks like I could actually just upload my own recordings here if I wanted to. Maybe I will do that instead. Cloning voices is definitely kind of a security concern, right? If you're giving people permission to clone your voice, I would love to see maybe some more detail about what they're going to do with the voice here, whether it's, I'm not granting them any permission to use my voice in perpetuity or in any, marketing manner or really any manner at all. The voice should only be used for my specific use case. And if I say to delete it, it should be deleted. Those very well might be the terms. That could be, but I don't see anything specifying that here. It just kind of says voice consent, right? That's this section, and there's no terms or anything here. So I'd love to see that just clarified a little bit more, not assuming negative intent, just, this is new stuff. So I think everyone's slightly uneasy about it. All right, I hope there is no limit on the amount of time that you can upload, because my export here is like a video that I basically just the audio from a recent video I published. So let's see, it says, here's maybe the terms I was looking for. I, Dave Swift, am aware that the recordings of my voice will be used by Vitra.ai to create and use a synthetic version of my voice. It says, for the best experience, please ensure that I maintain a moderate volume, avoid recording too loudly or too quietly, and ensure you read the full sentence, avoid any background noise, including clicks or taps. All right, so I'm going to upload my content now. So I'm trying to create a clone of my voice, but I keep running into issues, basically just on weird tech issues on my end. Essentially, I tried to upload a recording of my voice thinking it could grab any recording of my voice to translate into or convert into a clone of my voice. However, that's not the case. I have to read a very specific sentence in order to grant it permission, so to speak. And when I did that, it didn't work inside of my browser. So I switched to another application to record there, but the output wasn't in the right format. It did AIF instead of WAV or MP3. So now I'm converting that file into an MP3. Eventually, I hope to end up with a clone version of my voice. All right, so I'm just using Apple Compressor here, and I'm gonna go ahead and just convert this AIF into a MP3 file, which it is now done. It's super fast, so I can just drag this in here. Not quite yet. I think that's the next screen. So go to the next screen. Oh, please choose an option. I'm getting flustered. Here it is, dropping it in, and now I should be good to go. Says it may take a few seconds. Please wait for a while. While we're waiting, I can just drop in how I actually recorded this using Audio Hijack and exactly what I had to say. That might be interesting. I, Dave Swift, am aware that the recordings of my voice will be used by Vitra.ai to create and use a synthetic version of my voice. I only grant them permission to use it when I say and no other time. I don't know if that'll work, but I'm going to try. It says consent not detected. I guess my little blurb at the end screwed me up. I have to do it one more time. I, Dave Swift, am aware that the recordings of my voice will be used by Vitra.ai to create and use a synthetic version of my voice. All right, so there, I hope that was the final take. Let's go ahead and grab this in the Finder, cancel here and drag and drop my new version in. And let's go ahead and hit next. It says it may take a few seconds again. Hopefully this all works out. All right, it looks like consent is not detected again. And that time I did a pretty good job of just saying exactly what was in the sentence. So struggling here, I'm gonna try a third time. I'm gonna set this to be mono. I had it on stereo before, and I just have a hunch here that maybe that was causing some of the problem. And you know what, maybe I'll even change the format to WAV so it's a little bit higher quality. Make sure that remains at mono. I, Dave Swift, am aware that the recordings of my voice will be used by Vitra.ai to create and use a synthetic version of my voice. Third, fourth, fifth time's the charm, whatever version this is. Let's go ahead and test it out. I'm guessing that the stereo thing was probably the root of all the problems. Successful, consent created successfully. All right, so then it says script sample. How would you like to create your voice? Well, I still haven't created my voice. Okay, I guess that was the voice consent section. I will upload recordings. Here is another script for me to read. All right, this is a little bit longer. And actually has a little scroll box here. I would love if they just put that inside of, a easily readable window. This is really long lines too. This is basic web usability. We don't want to have more than 75 characters or so. 50 to 75 is a readable amount. So I'm just going to copy this and put it into a sticky. All right, so here is my script along with my voice recorder. I'm going to go ahead and run through this. In a small, cozy house, there was a little cat named Luna. Luna loved to play with a red ball. As she rested, a small bird flew down and sat next to her. Luna and the bird sat together, enjoying the beautiful day. She learned that sometimes the best moments are the simplest ones, shared with friends. Wasn't that touching? First take, I got a second career ahead of me. I'm gonna read children's books on Audible. All right, because this is going to be the basis for my cloned voice, I wanna make sure I can feed it the best quality possible. I'm in kind of an echoey room, so I use RX quite a bit here to clean up my recordings, even for these YouTube videos. And I've got a little chain here. I just typically run it through. And I'm also gonna delete that stuff at the end where I forgot I was still recording and I started talking to the camera. So let me go ahead and just clean that up first. All right, I have removed the extra part at the end, and now I'm going to just run it through my basically noise removal process here. It's also going to boost up the volume, just get everything kind of ready for broadcast. Now, I realize that not everyone has access to this type of software to process their voice, but I want to see what is the best quality I can get out of this voice cloning. So I don't want to give it an echoey recording. All right, I am going to drag and drop my recording in here. I just want to point out that the button says upload your script, which is a little confusing because this is the script. I'd be uploading my recording. I don't know. I think they could make that more clear. I'm going to go ahead and drag and drop my recording here. This is the touched up version. You can see it's about 1 minute and 16 seconds in length. Let's go ahead and move to the next process. All right, taking a few seconds here again. Hopefully this one works. I don't want to have to read that again. All right, it says it was successful. That is great news. Let's go ahead and proceed to the next step. It says the clone voice has been added to your voice list and is available for use across all languages. All right, excellent. Finish. Now let's get back to our actual translation so you can hear me speak Spanish for the first time in my life. All right, let's just drop one video file in here. This will be my most recent published video as of the recording of this, which is on OneTab, a project management tool that's on AppSumo. I'm gonna go ahead and click upload, and my settings are still here. I'll choose my source language again, English. This time I just typed. That's a good tip. A lot of times with these dropdowns, you can type what you want to do. So I'll do Spanish and then Mexican. There we go, Mexico. And my voice defaults to the one I just created. So that's excellent. Let's go ahead and translate this. And it's also going to embed the subtitles. Interesting, there's no just translation without subtitles. You have to have those embedded. I suppose that makes sense. I only have 10 minutes left for premium voice. I have to upgrade for more. So that clarifies for me a little bit what the actual deal terms are. So we're creating our own voice, but we only get 10 minutes per month to utilize that voice. All right, so I'm just gonna trim this up inside of Compressor and then I'll upload a shortened version. Let's just do like 2 minutes worth into the app here. All right, so while that's processing, I'm just gonna revisit the AppSumo deal page and look at what the actual terms were in terms of how many minutes I would get if I spent a little bit more money with this platform. So remember, I already spent $150 and I'm only getting 10 minutes per month. That seems pretty low to me. Like, why go to the trouble of cloning your voice if you can only use it for 10 minutes? All right, so 10 minutes for tier 3. If I go up to tier 4, that's $50 more and I only get 5 more minutes. Ouch. Another $100 is tier 5, and that brings me up to 25 minutes. What was $1,000? About 2 hours worth of content. Now, keep in mind, if I wanted to make my content available in 2 or 3 different languages, it's gonna get eaten up very quickly. So limits on this are a little bit low. Now, however, I'm not saying that's a bad deal. Remember, this is a one-time purchase. And if you go over to another platform to do this, it's gonna give you a limit per month as well. And you also get charged monthly. The leader in this space is definitely ElevenLabs. Let's look at their pricing. So with ElevenLabs, they've got, it looks like about 5 different price points here, all the way from free up to scale. But in order to create your own voice, you're gonna need to pay at least $5 a month. And with that, you'll get 30 minutes of audio per month. If you go up to the $11 a month plan, you're getting 120 minutes of audio per month. So this definitely looks more in line with what I would personally be willing to pay. $100 a month gets you 600 minutes. At that point, you could probably generate all of the content you needed if you did videos like I do on YouTube. So yeah, I mean, keep in mind, it does say here, translate content with automatic dubbing. That's essentially what we want to do. ElevenLabs quality is pretty good. It's not perfect. It definitely doesn't feel quite human to me, but it's pretty good, especially if you give it the right training information. So a real distinction here will be, how does Translate Video's quality stack up to something like ElevenLabs? Which, if you want to hear ElevenLabs, I'm not an affiliate or trying to promote them at all. They just happen to be kind of the leader in this. It's like saying OpenAI for chatbots. If you want to check this out, they do have a demo right on their homepage where you can just type something in, choose a voice, and hear what it sounds like. Obviously, you need to become a paying member to train your own voice. I did do that way back, when it first came out. And I felt like it was decent quality. It was kind of identifiable as me, but not exactly. All right, I've got my shortened file here. I'm gonna go ahead and drop it in. I'll hit upload. See, this is 206 megabytes, 3 minutes in length. It's actually about 2 minutes in length. And I will choose all of the same settings here. I've got my voice set as the output, and let's go ahead and translate it. All right, it is now processing, going fairly quickly, although, it's only a 2-minute video. I wonder if there's like 2 minutes and 12 frames over it. Looks like those extra 12 frames are gonna cost me one of my entire minutes. So if you're gonna give me only 10 minutes, you better do it down to the second. I don't know that they won't. Just be clear. Just, trying to be on guard. All right, I've gotten to another screen here, and it says basically that it's doing the translation here is what I'm reading for this. It's going from English into Spanish, and it says status in progress, and I've got a loading bar here at 0%. Now, what's not clear to me is if I'm allowed to click around here. Oh, it just jumped up to 28%. Hopefully this goes that fast all along. I'd love to click around and explore a little bit more of the interface while this processes, but maybe I'll just sit tight. In all honesty, it's going pretty quick, 57%. Only just took a drink of coffee and it went up, 71 now. There's a new show on Apple TV Plus called Sunny. And in the show, there's a woman in Japan. She's an American woman in Japan. And they have these cool little translation devices where they just have like an earpiece and then they can go and just talk to anybody and get instant translations. And I know there's kind of technology out there like it now, but obviously it works really amazingly well inside of the show. I can't wait for something like that to exist and just be able to travel the world feeling comfortable and able to communicate with everybody that you run into. That would be truly amazing. We're headed in that direction with technology like this. So that's a bright side of the future for sure. I think the key would be like pairing, right? So if I have an AirPod-like device in and you have an AirPod-like device in, when we come in close contact, we'd have to be able to communicate with each other directly through those AirPods and then just apply that translation software. And wow, that sounds really actually doable at this phase of the game. Something that would have been just mind-blowingly impossible 10 years ago. I've kind of stalled off here at 71% as I've been chatting about television. Hopefully this goes more quickly. Just get a big leap here and have it be done. And now we are done. All right, so now I can edit the transcript, generate audio. So looks like I'm gonna get some options here. Change the pace, I assume that's what that means, the rate. And then at the end here, it just says use transcript settings to adjust card rate, change the gender, shorten or lengthen the content, or merge cards. All right, so not really a helpful tour here. I'm just gonna blast through these. All right, so I have one card here on the left, which is in English, and then the other card here on the right is in Spanish, and I can compare them. Okay, so here is the original version in English. What's up, folks? I am Dave Swift from ClientAmp.com. I'm a software user experience. Okay, I'm trying to hit stop here, but I can't. So once it starts playing, it looks like I just have to listen to the whole clip. Oh, there's play settings down here. All right, that's annoying. Turn this into a play pause button. That seems essential because my eyes are focused on the top of the screen. I'm not looking down here. All right, so now I can switch over to the Spanish version.
¿Qué pasa, amigos? Soy Dave Swift de ClientAmp.com. Soy un experto en experiencia de usuario de software. He manejado la tecnología de múltiples creadores de cursos de 7 cifras y pasé casi 20 años como emprendedor dentro de la industria de la música.
I have no idea how accurate that was because I don't speak, like I mentioned earlier in the video, I don't speak any other languages. Silly American here. It sounded good, like it sounded like a human. I don't know that it sounded like me speaking Spanish. I could hear little hints of my intonation in there, like the way that I say phrases. But it definitely sounded like more like a Mexican guy to me, to be honest.
¿Qué pasa, amigos? Soy Dave Swift de ClientAmp.com. Soy un experto en experiencia de usuario de software.
A little bit. I mean, it's kind of cool. I don't know. All right, so there's some options at the top here, like find and replace, merge cards, change rate. Not very clear what change rate actually refers to be honest. I think that's like the pacing. It says they suggest, there was a cool tooltip that just appeared out of nowhere here. It said they suggest keeping the pace between, I think, 0.95 and 1.25. I don't know, editor, if you see that, you can freeze frame it, show people what it was. So I'll leave that as it is. Felt a little fast to me in the Spanish side, but I don't know. Maybe it was the same and Spanish always sounds faster because I don't understand it. All right, we've got the subtitles over here. We can change the styles. Obviously I can't read that. So let's try this out. We'll preview it.
He manejado la tecnología de múltiples creadores de cursos de 7 cifras.
All right, that's kind of trippy and cool. I admit that's impressive. There's really no delay in switching between any of these styles either. I can just grab one.
Pero ahora estoy aquí para traeros esa vida LTD, la serie en la que repaso las mejores y a menudo.
It's starting to sound more like me the more I hear it, to be honest. Definitely comment down below. If you're a Spanish speaker, let me know, does that actually sound like my voice to you? It's hard to have objectivity when it comes to something like this. All right, so what I would do is just choose the subtitle text that I like. Probably not that one. Some of these are a little wild for me, but we can change the styling over here. So I'll go with Enter, make it bold, maybe make the highlight color just a little bit darker, not so bright on the eyes. One thing I don't know at this point is like, how do I get back into, I guess I was in the transcript mode over here. Yeah, there's my transcript. So that was subtitle mode. All right, we're starting to explore this a little bit more. At any point, I think I could hit export up here. There's the option to hire someone. Looks like I could have someone do this for me for $30, or if I needed it quickly within a day, it doubles the price. It's $60. It's a proofreading service, so that's handy if you want to translate into languages you are not proficient in and you don't want to output any errors. That's probably not a bad idea, depending on the size of your audience or the potential income of your product. However, I'm going to skip that service for this testing. I could add in some background music, it looks like. Judging by what I see here, it seems like this would just be behind me the entire time I'm talking. No way to like have it fade in or fade out at certain points of the video. Okay, I want to remove this now. Can I still remove it? Oh, now it's in two places and I get this little editor. All right, so let's trash that. So before I check out the export options, let's just run through everything else in the sidebar here I've missed. So the dashboard is that first screen that we saw. We can see our recent processes here. Then I can go into Teams. Okay, so maybe what I need to do is actually open up that process. That gives me this sidebar. Okay, now we're starting to make some sense of this. So the process is what we just ran. That takes me back out to the dashboard. So we could eliminate process and dashboard. Those are essentially the same thing. Then we've got our transcript where we can see how it's actually transcribed the video and then translated the video on the same screen here. Then I've got my subtitles, which was the area where I could change the style and the look of all of those embedded subtitles. Really useful for things like short content. I think it's great for that. We've got our audio, our background music here. I can upload something here. It says, basically this is probably for adding more audio, I would assume. We've got some settings over here. So it's going to be our perspective. We can change the volume of the background music. Maybe they should put that inside of the audio section. I think that would make a lot of sense. We can leave them some feedback. I clicked on that. It took me over to what looks like a ClickUp form. Opened in a new tab. I want to point out the proper way to do things. And then we've got a tutorial over here, which is just a ton of different videos on how to actually use the tool. That, however, not inside of a new tab, so don't love that. And then if we're in the dashboard and we go through the options here, we've got our teams, so we can add our team members here. There's no mention of any limits in terms of team members on the AppSumo deal page. It just says collaborate with your team. So I assume you can add as many people, to your dashboard as you like, but obviously they're just going to share the same limits as what you paid for. We've got the option over here to upgrade our plan. Their monthly plans are priced over here. Let's see how many, what they say, premium voice minutes we'll get on their monthly plans. Yeah, so it's 5 minutes for $15 a month, 30 minutes for $150 a month. And then they have the Lifetime Pro plan, which is 25 minutes a month. So pretty pricey in my opinion. Although this tool does a lot, like it's, like I've said on so many other of these AI videos, this product comes out 3 years ago and everyone loses their mind at how good it is. I mean, it's still really good, but like now do you want to be stuck only doing 25 minutes of your clone voice, or do you want to, pay monthly for that and have the ability to generate a lot more content? I think that's really the decision that you'll need to make. All right, then everything else over here is pretty self-explanatory. We've got the same feedback and tutorial link we saw before, a wish list. So I assume here you can send in feature requests. Upgrade your plan now to create more videos. All right, that's a pretty weird thing for wishes. I didn't expect that. We see a lot of these kind of weird things with lifetime deals where, the UI is just not completely fleshed out yet. And the expectation for what the click is going to be, I thought this would be like a roadmap or something, but it's not. It's just wishes. So cool. I can send maybe like a wish you a happy Christmas. That's all right. I don't know. I'm tongue-tied at this point. And then over here, we have our settings where we have different folders. I can add a new folder over here. Kind of a weird UI choice here. I think the folder should be maybe placed a little bit more prominently, especially since I have to choose a folder for every translation that I do. We've got our glossary. That's always important when you're doing translation or transcription tools. Maybe some words that you use that are not, maybe software tool names, things that are not common. However, I don't see a way to add to the glossary right here. That must be done actually inside of the process when we're looking at the transcript. I'll double check that. We can see all of our uploads here and delete them. That's important. We have our analytics over here, so we can see how much of the tool we have actually used. And you can see I've used 3 minutes, so I'm offended. And then we can see our team members over here. So pretty similar to this page, although just a different view. All right, so just as I suspected, when I went into the transcription, if I select a word, this little icon appears here, which very clearly means add word to glossary. So I'll click on that. It says original word, clientamp.com, mapped word, and I choose whatever it is, client amp, however you want to put it, and then you can give it a label. And then it will be mapped to that word. Anytime the transcription software detects it, it can correct it to the proper spelling. Obviously, this was spelled correctly to begin with, but I just want to demonstrate that feature. All right, what is left but to hit this export button? Let's do so. I can do a video download, choose my resolution up to 1080p. That's the resolution I uploaded in. So that's the highest it should be outputting available to me. Then I can choose whether I want to do English or Spanish. Of course, I will choose the translated video. I can embed my subtitles here and then choose the Spanish as the embedded subtitle and just hit export here. Now, alternatively, I could just do the subtitle download, which I suppose would give me the actual file type. Yes, SRT or VTT. These are the two most common formats for subtitles. When you actually embed them into the video file, or if you're uploading to YouTube, you can upload an SRT. And then if you click on the captions button, either if you're watching it on a television that has captions, or you're watching it on YouTube that has captions, you can turn on the captions there and they will be a little more accurate than like the YouTube generated ones, which are actually getting pretty good too. All right, let's try downloading this and then we'll wrap up the video, make sure everything works properly. Export video. All right, I hit export. Oh, there it is. There was no immediate indication that anything was happening, but it does say it's now in progress, 1.5%. All right, we'll wait around for this to finish up. All right, so that's Translate Video. Other than a few quirks in the UI, I mean, the quality I think was pretty good. Although, like I mentioned, I'm not an expert in Spanish, so I can't comment on whether it's grammatically correct or even the proper translation. So you guys will have to help me out with that down below. I'd say the UI is decent. It still needs a few tweaks here and there just to make things more efficient and more obvious. But I could definitely see myself using it on a daily basis if it weren't for those extremely low limits on the custom voice. Now, maybe you don't care about the custom voice and you're more interested in the included voices, in which case definitely go check out their website and demo the voices to see if you like how they sound, particularly in the languages that you want to translate into. So on their website, they have this little drop-down selector where you can choose one of the languages and then you can A/B test between the original language and the translated language. Obviously, I'd love to go into great detail for that, but this video would be 10 hours long if I went through every single language that was available. So go ahead and investigate. You've seen how the UI works. You should understand whether or not this would be, something you could enjoy using or if it could be beneficial to your business at this point. But the quality is the ultimate deciding factor, right? For me, I was most stoked about that custom voice, and only being limited to 10 minutes per month is definitely something that's going to be a deal breaker for me personally. I will probably end up sending this one back to AppSumo because I just need higher limits. And I don't see myself spending $1,000 just to get, a very marginal increase in those premium voice minutes. We may still be a few years away from getting those, 6 hours, 8 hours of custom voice generation. I'm sure that's very expensive, taxing CPU or GPU wise in order to generate that. But that's kind of what I'm looking for as a consumer. And so it's not my problem necessarily to deal with those expenses. It's just where I'd want to invest my money. So given everything I just said, I'm going to go ahead and give Translate Video a 6.4. I think it could be maybe a higher score, a much higher score, if you didn't care about the cloning of voices. But for me, that's what I came into the deal excited about. So I'm leaving it at a 6.4. That is my review. If you need help with your online business, make sure you check out clientamp.com. If you want to pick up Translate Video, I've got my affiliate link down below. That helps me create more videos like this. When you click those links, it doesn't cost you anything extra. And I greatly appreciate those of you who have already been clicking the affiliate links. My name is Dave Swift. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next review.
¿Qué pasa, amigos? Soy Dave Swift de clientamp.com. Soy un experto en experiencia de usuario de software. He manejado la tecnología de múltiples creadores de cursos de 7 cifras y pasé casi 20 años como emprendedor dentro de la industria de la música. Pero ahora estoy aquí para traeros esa vida LTD, la serie en la que repaso las mejores y a menudo las peores ofertas de por vida que puede encontrar en Internet para ayudarlo a decidir dónde gastar el dinero que tanto le costó ganar en el software. Necesita hacer crecer un negocio en línea hoy. Estamos viendo una pestaña. Esta es una herramienta de gestión de proyectos en AppSumo. Notarás que está clasificado como herramientas de desarrollo, porque realmente es gestión de proyectos para desarrolladores. Así que estoy muy emocionado de echar un vistazo a esto. y tal vez descubrir si hay algo en él para el resto de nosotros que no somos desarrolladores también. Así que eso es algo a lo que definitivamente estaré atento. Muy bien. Parece que puedo empezar aquí por $49. Veamos los detalles del plan. Así que vamos a ser asignados a su plan de colaboración de equipo, y hay 3 niveles disponibles. Por lo tanto, esto depende de la cantidad de usuarios que necesite. Tenemos 5 usuarios, 15 usuarios o 50 usuarios. Y también obtienes algo de almacenamiento de archivos aquí. Es bueno tener 5 conciertos, 15 conciertos y 50. Por lo tanto, se corresponde con el número de usuarios y luego con el número de repositorios. Estos son realmente para desarrolladores. Aquí es donde van a almacenar su código para una aplicación. Así que tenemos un repositorio, 3 repositorios o 15 repositorios. Ahora hay algunas características adicionales que obtenemos con el nivel 2 y el nivel 3. El nivel 2 nos dará permisos de acceso al módulo de subusuario. Así que supongo que lo que eso significa es que voy a poder bloquearme ciertas partes del sistema de gestión de proyectos, dependiendo del usuario que esté tratando de entrar en él. Hay 2 características más bloqueadas para SAML de nivel 3, basado en inicio de sesión único. Entonces, si tienes una fuente que usas para iniciar sesión a todas las aplicaciones dentro de su negocio, podrás conectarlo a este producto, y luego esto me molesta. Exportación de datos para todos los mensajes. Creo que la portabilidad de datos es una característica básica que debería incluirse para todos. Pero aquí está reservado para el nivel 3. Así que voy a revisar el primer nivel. Ya recogí mi código aquí, pero me detuve antes de crear mi cuenta. Así que pasemos por este proceso juntos. El primer paso después de obtener su código, lo autoriza. Inicie su cuenta con una pestaña. Van a pedir el nombre de una empresa. Muy bien. Así que voy a entrar en el amplificador del cliente